Alsace, particularly fascinating region, not only in its wine history and its present wines, but also in its general history. Alsace is, of course, right at the border between Germany and France, and so every time Germany gets the gumption and wants to invade France, they kind of go through Alsace first. And because of its geography and topography and its location and so close to Germany, they often kind of consider the Alsatians as Germans, or have. So there's this really interesting mix of culture in the area, and the wines actually quite reflect it. Right, the grape varieties that are common in Alsace are Riesling, Gewürztraminer, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris. And these are the same varieties that are used most commonly in Germany. Now, there are major differences in the style by which they're made. One of them being that German wines are historically quite sweet. Not all of them, of course, but the majority of those wines are, where the wines of Alsace are quite dry. And I know that our perspective of Riesling is probably reflected mostly by the New World conception of it. So, you know, in Australia and California, they often make Riesling extremely sweet. In Alsace, I think they really get the most out of the variety because they are able to make it dry, and it gets this really aromatic, perfumey kind of a characteristic to it that often leans, you know, in a gasoline-y kind of characteristic. While I know that doesn't sound like a good thing, it is one of the natural characteristics of the grape, and it's fascinating and lovely smelling when you actually get it in the wine. They're really interesting wines. It's also a region that has really embraced the organic and biodynamic movement, and so you will see a lot of horses actually pulling plows to till vineyards. You'll see a lot of hand harvesting. You won't see too much pesticides and herbicides being used. It's one of the regions in the world that's really embraced their history and has really embraced using natural methods by which to cultivate their wines. So it is a spectacular region that is worth tasting through, I assure you. Many of them are not sweet, if you lean away from sweet wines, particularly on the mid to higher end range. And unlike many white wines, they age better than almost any wine in the world. I've had 50, 60-year-old Rieslings from Alsace that are just bright and fresh and still taste like they've got a lot of time left in them to age. So keep your eye out for them. They're often in a tall, very unusual, skinny bottle, so they're easy to spot in a wine store.